But next, our live showcase is Derlene Hirtz. She's sharing motivational mindset, breaking through to your success. Having lived a life believing there was a ceiling attached to her potential, career, freedom, worth, relationships, and even income, the day came when Derlene realized that there truly was no ceiling on anything in life. Derlene is an expert on the science of positivity, mindset, and success. She is the CEO, Chief Empowerment Officer, and founder of You Empowered Services. She provides the missing piece for business owners, entrepreneurs, and sales professionals and teams to have more positive attitude, gain lasting motivation, increase sales, and overall more happiness and fulfillment in life and business. Derlene has studied the neuroscience of success and mindset for the past 8 years and brings her education, experience, and wisdom through her unstoppable, I want to say that correctly because that's unstoppable success program, offering mindset and success training and coaching to the business community. Her greatest love is that of Gigi to 4 grandchildren, wife, mom, daughter, and friend. Please welcome Miss Congenial, Derlene Hirtz.
Yes, today we are talking all things motivation. And this is the science behind motivation. I just love science behind motivation, success, mindset, because then you have no excuse but to really move forward because it's very clear. So let's talk about some motivational mindset. Mindset is everything, everything. And science tells us, okay, I'll give you a little grace, okay? Science tells us that 90% of our success in life, in business, in finances, the whole entire life structure is built around our mindset. And 10% of that is the action we take. And what happens is we take action with the wrong mindset, and we create this cycle of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, otherwise known as insanity. Right. What we get to do is shift our mindset, reprogram our brain, train our brain for success, however you want to say it. And today we're going to talk exclusively about motivation. So this is my grandson, Theo. He started playing baseball this year, and he is replacing my son's picture because he's just a little bit cuter. When my son started playing baseball, let's just say 3rd grade, when he got quote unquote serious about it, his grades were not reflecting his potential. So I decided that I would pay him for every A. And he didn't even care that I was paying him for an A. However, when I said, if your grades don't improve, I'm going to take baseball away from you until they do. So this is what we're going to talk about today is motivation. You see, there are 2 different kinds of motivation: towards motivation and away from motivation, or towards the pain or away from, or excuse me, towards the pleasure. Let me repeat, towards the pleasure or away from the pain. The pleasure of Derek making money, he didn't care, but there was a lot of pain attached to playing baseball. So one of our keys to our success is understanding our motivation, and not even understanding our own motivation, that of our clients, our customers, our family, our friends, all of the things. That's weird. And this is all based on our goals, our dreams, our visions, all about celebrating those little successes. So we have towards and away from motivation. So for example, one of my clients will come to me and they'll come to me with, they understand that they're kind of hitting a plateau. They can't figure out what's happening in their life or their business, and they're ready to take their business to the next level. And yet that's just not happening. And so I asked them, or excuse me, that's a towards motivated person that comes into my office, right? They're towards the pleasure of up-leveling their success. versus the client who comes in and says, hey, I'm not making enough money to pay my bills. Things aren't going right in my business. I'm late. I'm behind on everything. So they're running away from the pain of where their business is. Fair? And this shows up in all areas of our life. And chances are, if you're struggling with something right now and you can't quite figure that out, your motivation probably has something to do with it. Let's just take weight loss for an example, because that's always a big one amongst the ladies, right? I want to lose weight because I'm tired of my husband nagging. I'm tired of buying new clothes. I'm tired of you fill in the blank. That is an away from motivation. And how long does that really last? Just long enough to see that magic number, and then you go, woo, we're going to celebrate Taco Tuesday, right? As opposed to a towards motivation, where you are going towards being healthy, towards living a healthy lifestyle. It's super important that you know this with your clients and customers, because your whole response is different. If somebody comes into Richard's office or his business and they say, I want a new kitchen, and they automatically take them over to the $1 million kitchen, and they're looking at that and they're going, no way, my cabinets are just falling off my wall. I just need to get something up on my wall. That's an entirely different than the client who comes in and says, we're ready for our dream kitchen, let's make that happen. You would go two different directions with that, right? So you say to your client, your customer, your kid, your partner, what's important to you about that? What's important to you about a new kitchen? And when they say, I'm ready for the dream, you know they're towards motivated. When they say, I got to get some cabinets up because the old ones fell down, you know there's a pain involved in that. Fair? So there's 3 elements of motivation that we're going to talk about. Number 1, you need to feel you're in charge. Number 2, it aligns with your values. And number 3, you must feel capable of doing it. So to be a towards motivated person, these 3 elements are super important. Let's talk about them. Remember, where your focus goes, your energy flows, right? So what you are thinking in your head, what you are saying in your words, that's exactly where your energy is going to go. So let's talk about that first one, resistance. Repeat after me. I have to network to grow my business. Or even, I need to network to grow my business. So that is total resistance. What if the solution is, I choose to network to grow my business so I can reach my goals in my business and my life? Let's hear that. So I knew that I was going to say that, and I knew that I was going to make you say that, ask you to say that. And even when I speak like this, I can feel an internal shift automatically in that, just by the choices of words that I have. You see, choice is a powerful thing. Suffering is optional. And we always choose words that don't serve us, that keeps us in that away from motivated space. Make sense? So when I choose to do something, I'm in control, right? That's that number 1 thing. I want to know that I'm in control of the situation. The second one, values. I don't feel right about this. Like, let's say that we're working late and our number 1 value is our family time. That's our number 1 value. And yet the boss says, or the contract says, you got to work late tonight because we've got to make this happen. And so that is a huge conflict. Talk about away from motivation. And instead, your solution could be one of 2 things. You can say, okay, I understand that. So next week, I'm going to get off early and I'm going to spend that time with my family. That's a lot more advantageous towards your value, right? Or you can say, hey, extra money for vacation. Instead of going to Taco Tuesday, we'll go to some gourmet restaurant when we're on vacation. Towards motivated. And the last one, I can't do this. I can't do this. You get to fill in the blank. See, the expert at anything was once a beginner. There's our grace. When we think about that, the only way a beginner became an expert is because they practiced the skill over and over and over again until they became a state of excellence. And please understand, I say excellence as opposed to perfection, because in reality, perfection doesn't exist. Every time you reach that quote unquote perfect state, what happens? Ooh, that's not good enough. Now I have another goal. So if we focus on a space of excellence, it's much more, I'm going to say forgiving. When we don't meet whatever that standard we've set for ourselves, we get to take a step back and say, okay, tomorrow it's going to be different because I'm in control. My number one value is excellence. And I'm capable of doing this with some practice. So you get to ask yourself, how am I motivated? And again, in those areas of life where you're choosing to sit on the couch because you're, quote, not motivated, think about, what is it that I'm running from? And how can I shift that to go in a more towards motivated way? Much more empowering, and it'll get you off the couch as well. And then you also get to ask that to your clients, your customers, your family members. What's important to you about that? And then now you have your gold. You know exactly how to share your product, service, or solution with them because you know how they're motivated for it. See, reality is we have imprint years 0 to 7. Chances are you're motivated in a way that your parents or other significant adults in your life reacted to how things happened to you. For instance, when you played baseball for the first time, if you were told, you know, okay, now you're going to have to practice for 3 hours because that was really horrible. That's, talk about away from motivation, right? As opposed to the parent says, how did that feel to catch that grounder? That was amazing. You see, two things are going on here. You're acknowledging them about their greatness, but the secret is you're encouraging them to acknowledge it. How did that feel? What did you think? Because that's truly where the growth is for them, and the motivation comes for them is it's always intrinsic. We can fix all this, but if we don't fix this, it's not going to happen. And we are imprinted in those early years in our life about how we're going to deal with and handle all of these sorts of things. As a reminder, we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. Thank you, Jim Rohn. This is one of the things that I'm hyper aware of. This is one of the main reasons I joined e4e, is because I get to be aware who I'm surrounding myself with. Because if you're surrounding yourself with away from motivated people, that's just going to be a complaining session every time you're together. And who needs to fill our minds with that? Because our own little self-talk, our negative Nelly, she does a pretty good job of that all on her own sometimes, fair? So know who's got your back. Know that your inner circle are the ones that are going to build you up, make you strong, support you, be there for you. So here's the deal. You've heard something today that made you aware. This is my philosophy with my coaching clients and all my training, everything. You become aware. And that alone is not enough, because that keeps you stuck or keeps you complaining, right? Or you can acknowledge, oh, I know that. I know that I'm away from motivated. But hey, that's just who I am. And, you know, people have to live with me like that because I am who I am. That also keeps you stuck. It's when you take action, right? Aware, acknowledge, action is where all of your growth happens. And that is what allows shift to happen in your life. Thanks, guys. Oh. Any questions? You get back on, baby. Get right back up on that horse. Yes. using the same technique. What specifically happened? What needs to happen? How important is this to you? And you go back and you redefine the goals. Mark?
So I agree with the 5 people you surround yourself with, but what if you have no control over some of those 5 people and their attitude? How do you overcome that?
When did you decide you have no control? Would be my first question.
Their family?
Excellent question. Excellent answer, because this is what I did. I'll give you personal experience. I look at people in my circle in the idea of a concentric circle, right? So me and my 5 people are right in the middle, 5 being relative. Fair? Okay. And then in the next layer are maybe people that are in my family. This is recorded, so I'm going to stop there. People who are in my family. And then there's even close friends. Growing up in the military, they became my family, right? And so what happens when you have somebody in your inner circle, one of those 5 you see are not serving your purpose or supporting you or whatever, fill in the blank. It's not that you have to kick them out of your circles. It's super important that you move them to the next one out. Doesn't mean that you love them any less. It means that you are taking care of you. And if you don't take care of you, nobody else is. And so in terms of, yeah, you love them. Yeah, they're there every day. You can move them out. Had to kick one of them completely out of the circle, just saying. But whatever. No names, right? Because they were so toxic. And I know what happens when you put poison in your body. And you continue to do that until one day you cease to being who you are. Fair? Does that make sense? Great question. Thank you for that. Anybody else? Obviously, Dale's not here.
He's online.
Oh, is he? Oh, there he is. Hi, Dale. Okay, thank you, guys.